I really do actually want to start with what was going on with Jin, Mori, of course, and everything towards the end there. But I think there's a moment that really stole the moment for me, and really has stolen the series, I think, for me. And that was the inspirational moment that was Hans's fight. Dawe and or Hans, which I love calling him Hans. What a story. The biggest threat to this show was, would it be all animation? People were saying, it's just going to be a great animated show. It's going to be one of the best animated shows ever, but it's not going to be the best narratives ever. Well, I'm here to tell you so far, these fights are telling me a story. And the stories they're telling me are so compelling, allowing me to really understand these characters so well. And they're doing it with such ease. It's so smooth. It's just kind of like, hey, let me tell you about this, let me show you this awesome animation in 3 minutes, 4 minutes or less. And then let's also show you who these characters are, why they're fighting, why they're here. These are the things that you appreciate later immensely. Because whenever the show really gets going in its narrative, you're going to be like, holy shit, I'm really supporting this cast because I truly understand who they are. And these fights are doing exactly that. Maybe, Mira's kind of characterization was more so done outside of the battleground. Her fight wasn't necessarily telling a story, because they've already told hers. Now you understand why she's fighting. As to where we see that Hans is getting told while he is fighting, and the same thing with the North Taekwondo versus the regular Taekwondo or Tai Chi guy that Mori actually intervened in that fight. They told a story as well. So I'm looking at Hans and just seeing that, he was about to give up, and then his friend came up with that, that quote. Not even necessarily came up with it, but like it just maybe had a revelation after he was really in the hospital. Maybe that's just how he is grown up. But the quote was, "It's a fight every day. Everyone's fighting every single day. It's a battle." Because Hans said when he's thrown up so sick, he's like, don't you ever just get sick of this, man? Just sick of persevering, going against that ill will? I mean, doesn't it ever kind of make you want to quit? Was what he's insinuating. And he's like, every day is a fight. Whether I'm sick or I'm healthy is what he is implying. It's a fight. You're having a fight every day. That nurse is fighting every day. There's some kind of stress or something in our lives that is always going to drive us nuts. I mean, heck, let me be wide open. Coming back to YouTube and having, X amount of views or X amount of this, and then coming back 8 months later and like still seeing some good views here and there, but seeing my, reviews, 800, 600 reviews less, that's a struggle. I'm not used to that. You watching the video, I know you're going through something today, probably. I know you went through something yesterday or last week or last month. We have days in which we just simply stand up and say, gosh, I'm tired of this, but I got to keep pushing. And I really like that message. That's cool messaging, and seeing the way they had Hans start doing all those special arts, special arts 1, 2, 3, and he stopped at 4. I wonder what 4 is. It was so exciting. It was so cool. I remember standing up and just like, yes, kind of. Well, it wasn't a full stand. It's like it's like, you know what I mean? But I did scream, yeah. And it's those moments that truly make me know I'm enjoying a show, when it just happens. Whenever I'm so mesmerized with what's going on the screen, to where I just kind of, the balloon pops out of nowhere. I'm just kind of like, up and antsy and just energetic about what I'm seeing. That's when I know I have a good show on my hands, a really good show. There's not many shows that can just typically do that for me, and I think other people as well. But that fight was very inspirational. I hope people even took the theme away from that. And it really touched me because, my grandma was in the hospital for years. I mean, that's part of the it contributed to me leaving YouTube, right? And she heart stopped multiple times and she's revived, but she kept pushing through. That perseverance was awesome. I love that. And it just really, that scene just rubbed me in all the right ways. Maybe it's just me, but hopefully someone else, some of you guys can connect to that scene as well. Now let's hop on and let's go see what's going on with Mori now. Mori has to fight one of the administrators. Mori ate one of those, he ate all those fruits. And apparently those fruits had some kind of curse, some kind of seal on there, sealed away to where no one could eat them, and they're still fresh. So obviously something's going on if they've been in there for so long, and they even said no. They said not to take them out yet. He's like, I had to. I got to see if this guy's the real deal. And of course, we see that Jin starts, he collapses to the ground, in his room, and he's a little late for the tournament, but he does persevere and get through it. And he makes statements saying that he's hot, and towards the end of the fight, which kind of made me feel like he may have been somewhat deprived of energy. I'm not really sure. He seemed tired in general, but he did seem tired when he's riding that bike in episode 1. So I mean, but looking at that scene, the way he's able to just go up to an administrator and just like be right in front of him magically, just teleport right in front of him. And the administrator couldn't even read his movements. That shows you how strong this kid is. Now, we do see that demonic kind of thing coming out of the administrator, which is, of course, one of their powers, which would have been the same power that Taekwondo, the North-style Taekwondo guy got that was scared in the corner since he lost. Inferiority complex out the butt, I'd say. But that same demonic possession, they're putting some kind of demons in them to give them up their power. Something we've seen before, whether it be like Seraph of the End, whether it be something similar to Naruto, whether it be something similar to Bleach. We've seen these kind of things before, and it makes you wonder just what is that? Who's pulling these strings? Because the person that gave the Northern Taekwondo guy in episode 2 that power, I'm pretty sure it seemed like a girl. That did not seem like any of the administrators. But it makes you wonder what's really going on here, because obviously the head administrator has to have this power as well, but he seems just, I don't know, was it gifted to him? Is he in on this? Because it didn't look like he was the one given the powers to begin with. So I'm wondering, because I can't remember what they called it. I think was it Chavakari? Was it Chavak? I can't remember. There's 2 dudes that were underneath, that were working with what seemed to be like the president or whatever before the head of administrator showed up in episode 2. There's those 2 officers standing in the distance that knew something was up. So, but yet the president didn't really even comprehend what's going on. So it seems like there's people of high power on the good guy side that don't know stuff, but yet there's people of high power but lower status than the leaders on the good guy side that do know stuff. So it seems just kind of ass backwards here, if you know what I'm saying. Why do some of the underlings know stuff whenever the head dude, that we saw in episode 2, did not, where they're looking over the island, and then the administrator walked in. Of course, they had to talk off screen that we didn't get to see. But there's a lot of this mystery going on in the background. Who's in charge? Who's leading the way? Yeah, we know the head administrator has to be like one of those top guys, but yet it hasn't showcased that he's the one even distributing the power. So it's like just kind of like, unless he's just having someone distribute it for him, which I don't know. It just wouldn't typically be the way they do things. Typically, everything goes through the main villain for the most part. I mean, but I don't know. It's interesting. Let's see what's going on there. I'm not quite sure. The show's doing a great job of making us ask some questions. What's this tournament really about? Yeah. Well, on top of that, also, where's this tournament going to go beyond this? This is like preliminaries. Is there other like preliminaries going on in other places? Because that's what it made it seem like. But yet, it seems like all the head of staff are here, unless there are head of staff other places. Not really sure. We don't really have any kind of structure to really be able to know who ranks where. All we know is who ranks where for these 6 administrators of this preliminary tournament. So that's interesting as well. But was it Taijin? I actually have it written down. I think it was Taijin. Taijin Mori, something like that. Tin Taijin, or whatever his name was. Jin's grandpa, nonetheless, all right? Or Mori's grandpa, I should say. They both last name have the last name Jin. But apparently there's something special about him as well. I wonder where he went. I wonder how this guy knows him. This guy's of utmost importance as head of administrators at this tournament. He's very powerful, clearly. Jin looked like he's about to be defeated by the one dude that was an underling of his, which still makes me wonder what the hell is going on there. It was Jin just weaker, or could Jin beat that guy? It makes you wonder, because Jin, like, he had some kind of revelation, and it looked like there was some kind of man leading armies in this weird art style whenever he is actually on this ground just before he woke up for the tournament. So it's interesting. I'm wondering what's going on there. I'm very curious. So we'll see what's going on. Probably towards episode 7, I'm imagining. This is 3. No, actually, I'm hoping 6. I can't wait that damn long. So, other than that, though, I think that's going to do it for today, guys. This is all the notes I had. This is all everything that happened really in this episode. But there's a lot of questions being, shoved out there with not necessarily the most amount of answers right now, which, hey, make us ask questions, give us characterization, and also, well, at the end of the day, give us great animation. That's what the show's doing. But yeah, I'm genuinely curious, like, what the power scaling is here, because it just doesn't make sense to me right now. And whenever I say power scaling, I mean that on the antagonist side. The head administrator, obviously, he's like a god. Who, well, that person who's giving out these powers that one of his underlings had, obviously wasn't him. So who is distributing that power? If you're distributing that power, you must have great power yourself. Who is that? The gifter of power, the gifting of the power must be able to manhandle probably said power. So who is that distributor that we saw in episode 2? But other than that, though, guys, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me Twitter X25. See you guys next time. Peace. Thank you so much for watching, guys.